Now the program is going to go to tab 13 of subprogram number 1. The value of x is set to 250, value of y to 150, rotational value is set to 0, the size is set to 110, and then it goes and gets a pattern from the list of patterns that it has. So it says put pattern 230 in the list called pattern. So we'll go down here and go to patterns, and let's see, go to number 6 here. Yep, there it is. See, 230. This is pattern 230. Now we'll go back. So we know what pattern it's moving in there. Then we make the dots for a polygon. That's what this is. Dot start uses the pattern to make a list of XY positions. Then it says pattern again. Put this pattern in the array or list called pattern plus 100. So it's past where it loaded this pattern. It's going to put pattern 51 in there, which I know is the number 3 in ASCII. So next, it's going to add that pattern to the pattern that is already there. That's what dot add means. Next, it sets the color to 404, which is a little red and a little blue, and it draws the polygon. So we'll do this part. Execute the application. This is what it did. It drew this. That was number 230. And this, it put a 3 in with it. It added it onto it. Now we go back to the program. Now it adds 650 to the X position, which means the next thing is going to be over on this side of the screen. So it's going to go get pattern 230 again, but now this is the operation that changes how tall it is and how wide it is. What it's going to do is it's going to make it 100% of how tall it is. Well, that's no change at all, but it's going to make 200% of how wide it is. So it's going to get twice as wide as the pattern originally was. Then it's going to do the dot start for that pattern, making the X and Y positions, and then it's going to draw the polygon. So let's go see this one. Okay, it's over here at 650. And look, it's much wider. It's no taller, but it's twice as wide because of that TAW instruction. Now we'll go back to the program. We're right down here. And we're going to learn about the .O action. What it does is sort of the opposite. When you make a pattern, .O takes the points that it found for the polygon and puts them in point X and point Y. In this case, you could put these any list name, but it's sort of the opposite. It draws them back out of it. For instance, you might draw something and then say, well, at each point of this something, I'm going to put a circle. So you might want to know where the major points of inflection are for something that was drawn. Okay, so here's what those two look like. Going to the next one. Now it is going to tab 14 of subprogram 1. First thing it's going to do is go around a for next loop for I of 0 to I of 9, increasing it 1 at a time. 0 through 9 is 10 times it will go around the loop. Each time it goes around, it's going to put an ask prompt on the screen. It's going to ask the first 10 values of item cost. This 0 here means that no caption number is given. Therefore, it's going to use the variable's name, item cost, as the caption for the prompt. Over here is where it tells it what position it is. It's going to be in the ith position. That ends that loop. Then it's going to sum the 10 item costs and put the total in S. Then it's going to tell the value of S using caption 1 and putting it at position 11. Now we'll look at caption 1. We'll go down here. Here it says the first 64 captions. We'll click on that. Caption 1 says total cost of items. So here it's going to say total cost of items. Why don't we take a look at it now and see what it means? Here you see the item costs, which are indexed 0 through 9. Down here you see the total cost of items, and they're all 0, so it adds up to 0. But if we would click on one of these and put a 1 in there, all of a sudden you see total cost of items 1. Now I want you to watch this. Look, it jumped the item cost 4. Why did it do that? Here, I'll put it someplace else and I'll put a 9 there. Look, jump back down here again. Now we're going to go back to the program and see why it does that. Right here is where we had been. It's going to make sure that W doesn't get over the value of 305. Then it's going to do a wait. Now if you remember, a wait will go, well, first it will subtract the step number from W. If that makes the number go 0 or less, it will come down this way, resetting W back to 300 and doing a wake to prompt number 4. If W is still greater than 0, it would go to E0, which is home. So this wake is only going to happen when it counts down from 300 by the step number. Now let's go back. I'll show you what I mean. Here is the step. The step is at 2 right now. So I'm going to, let's see where I can go. Oh, now the step is at 1. I'm going to move it. It jumped there right away, but let's wait and see how long it takes for it to jump to number 4. Oh, it'll go. Oh, but subtracting 1 at a time is not going to go very fast. Tell you what, we'll change it then to 5. It jumped almost right away. Okay, we'll say we're putting something in there. Oh, jump back down already. Well, these are the ask prompts, and this is the tell prompt. This is tab 15 of subprogram 1. The first instruction it executes is a CLAK. That tells it to erase all clickable areas on the screen. Next, it sets X to 100, Y to 40, the color to black, the font to 416, which means point size 16, and the 4 means that it's bold. Then the next instruction says box 10 1. The 10 means the number of text characters on the screen, and the 1 is the CLIK number assigned to it. Somebody clicks there, it's going to give a 1 as the value of what was clicked. Here the text characters are placed on the screen at X and Y, color black, font 16, says click here is what's located at this page address, and it's 10 characters long. Then it sets X to 100, Y to 150, tall to 150, and wide the same as tall, which is 150. Then it says this is box R2. When this is clicked, this area is clicked, it's going to give a 2 as the clicked number. So this means box rectangle, and this defines a rectangle on the screen. Then it's actually going to draw the rectangle and fill it in with this color 400, which is a dark red. Here it draws the rectangle and fills it in. Then it says CLEK to FC, which means if CLIK number is not 2, go to FC. That's down here. But if a 2 was the CLIK number, which means that it must have been this box, because that's CLIK number 2, then it's supposed to keep going down this way. It repeats how tall the box is, how wide the box is, 150 by 150. Then it does a matrix instruction that says that box consists of 3 rows and 3 columns. Actually, I think this is the columns and that's the rows. Then it says put the value of L in the status line and then go home. Now up here, if it CLIK number 2 didn't happen, it goes to FC. Well, here's FC. FC says if nothing was clicked, go to EP, which is home. If something was clicked, give the value of K. Well, let's execute the application and see what's happening. Well, here's where it put the 10 characters of text. Click here. Well, if I click here, well, I'll click a lot of times, you'll see that K1 shows in the status line here. K1. If I click down here in this upper corner, says L is 0. Remember, L has to do with the 3 columns and the 3 rows. So if I move over to the center here, L is 1. Here, L is 2, L is 3, L is 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That means there's 9 clickable areas here. That's the 2 kinds of clickable areas. While programming, get information from the glossary by clicking Info. Thank you for watching.